What's up, it's Chris Heria, welcome to another vlog. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things I wish I knew before I started working out. As someone that's been doing this for over 10 years, I took time to think of things that someone just getting into working out could significantly benefit from and find really helpful. So hopefully you can apply these 5 things a lot earlier on and progress a lot faster than I did. So with that said, let's get right into it. All right. So the first thing is going to be nutrition, having a balanced diet and being very aware of my macronutrients. When I first started working out, I was about 135, 140 pounds, and I always knew that you needed to eat to grow, and the importance of protein, and I would increase my calories and my protein intake in order to gain more muscle mass. But at the beginning, I didn't actually track my macros to find the exact number of calories and protein I needed. It was a lot of trial and error for me at the beginning, but if I had counted my macros, I probably would have gained a lot more muscle mass a lot faster, and I probably would have been a lot more shredded earlier on. Oftentimes, people think that they're eating a lot and enough to grow bigger, when in fact, they may not be eating enough of the right things or too much of one thing and not enough of the other. On the other hand, some people just getting into working out have the opposite issue, trying to lose weight. They may be thinking that because they're working out and eating less that they should be getting leaner, but they're wondering why they're not, and that's because they can be still unknowingly in a caloric surplus despite eating less because they didn't keep track of their calories. By keeping track of exactly how many calories you're consuming, it's going to be more accurate for you to track whether you're really getting enough protein and if you're actually on a caloric surplus or deficit in order to build more muscle or lose fat and get leaner and more shredded. So if you're not already doing so, being very aware of your macronutrients and having a balanced diet will immediately give you results. Remember, you're already training hard. You want to make sure that you're covering all the other aspects to see the most success as fast as possible. Now, the second thing that I think is really important to learn early on is how and when to breathe when you're working out. And that can make the biggest difference in adding more reps and even lifting heavier when you're training. Now, there's lots of people that have been training for years that still don't know the importance of breathing properly or even how to breathe properly while they're working out. And just like how breathing properly will increase your power, strength, and repetitions while you're training, not breathing properly will actually decrease all of those things. And not only will you gas out a lot faster and not be able to deliver your power and strength, but you may even end up hurting yourself. For example, if you exhale all your air going down on a heavy squat, you may not be able to come back up. But if you exhale going up on your squat, you're gonna be able to deliver more power, which is going to increase your repetitions. And if you're increasing your repetitions, you're going to be able to build more strength and muscle. So first, I want to show you how to properly breathe while you're training. You want to breathe in through your nose and filling up your diaphragm. And then you want to exhale through your mouth. You want to empty out your diaphragm. So to really get the hang of it, just put your hand on your stomach, breathe in through your nose. You should feel your stomach getting bigger. Out through your mouth. You should feel your stomach sinking in. Breathing like this is going to allow more oxygen into your body, which is needed for your brain and muscles while you're working out. It also helps you to regulate your heart rate, allowing you to stay in the game and train a lot longer versus breathing from your chest and easily gassing yourself out really fast. So even if you feel like you're out of breath and you're breathing like this, just try to stop and regulate your breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, and you're quickly going to be able to regain control and get back in the game. And as I said before, the timing of when you're breathing matters a lot as well, especially with the type of training that you're doing. For example, if I'm doing a heavy lift on a squat, as I said before, I'm going to breathe in through my nose, filling up my diaphragm before I go down. I'm going to hold it, go down, and as I come up, I'm going to be exhaling and releasing the oxygen from my diaphragm. And depending on how heavy it is, I'll probably take a new breath with each rep. Same thing for a heavy deadlift. I'm going to breathe in at the bottom, hold my breath, release some air when I get to the top, and then when I put the weights back down, I'm gonna release the rest of my air and start again, and giving me more power with the lift. Now, if I'm doing something with more repetitions like bench press or full planche push-ups, handstand push-ups, I'm gonna inhale at the beginning of my repetitions, and then I'll give a little spurt of exhale while contracting my core with each repetition. For example, breathe in, just like that. Now, if I was doing something else, more of like an isometrics movement, like a boat hold or a plank, for example, I would be regulating my breathing the whole time, breathing in through my nose, holding my core, squeezing my core, and exhaling slowly and consistently. Making sure that it's consistent and also even as I breathe in, hold, and breathe out. So start regulating your breathing while you're working out. You're gonna increase your power and strength, you're gonna increase your endurance and your repetitions. And by increasing all of that, you're gonna increase your muscle mass and improve your physique as well. All right, moving on, that's gonna be knowing the right progressions to be able to advance faster. When I first started working out, I was actually intimidated by a lot of the harder exercises like the one-arm pull-up, full planche push-ups, or even the muscle-up, thinking that they were too advanced or unattainable to reach. And I had the common misconception that I couldn't start training for them until I was at an advanced level. I actually wish I had started training them way sooner, as the very first progressions to these exercises are very beginner-friendly, like the Australian pull-up or the tuck planche, and I would have achieved them a lot sooner if I did. And a lot of the progressions that were the most effective, I had to discover on my own and the right time to use them according to my fitness level. If I would have known exactly what progressions to do in the exact order, I would have achieved these exercises way sooner, and I would have hit way less plateaus in the process. And on the same note, knowing when to progress on to the next progression and not staying on one progression for too long is very important to know, as a lot of people actually get stuck on a progression like the straddle planche or the handstand push-up against the wall, instead of moving on to the next progression. That even happened with me when I was training my planche. And that's why I stayed drilling and perfecting my straddle planche. I was waiting for a sign to tell me that I was ready to move on to start training for the full planche, when I really should have just been continuing to move up the progressions instead of staying to perfect my straddle planche. And once I actually decided to start moving on to the next progressions, I started actually to obtain my full planche. So always focus on consistency, never get stuck training the same progressions, and always strive for progress and to move on to harder exercises and heavier lifts. And if there's an advanced goal, exercise, or skill that you want, always follow the steps of somebody that has already done it successfully. There's a lot of information on the internet out there, and there's a lot of people that are talking about things that they've actually never done, or maybe have just read about. You want to learn from the people that have actually done it and have done it successfully. And moving on to the fourth thing, that's going to be a better understanding of your muscles and human anatomy. I started taking training more seriously when I was around 17 years old, and when I was younger, I would train with what I had already learned from martial arts and what I had learned training with other people. Now, if I were to just start working out again for the very first time, I'd start by learning as much as I can about the human anatomy and physiology, as this is going to help in developing a deeper understanding on how all the muscles of the body interact with one another. And this is really important when it comes to seeing the bigger picture and training your body to the best of its capabilities. When I think of my body and its abilities, I relate it to a knife. You want a knife to be as versatile as possible and as sharp in every area. Now, not all knives cut the same. For example, not all knives you can cut a rope with, but the most effective knife will be able to use its blade in any situation. It will be able to pierce, cut, and slice using all the surface of the blade. And that's how you want to see your body as well, being very effective, not just for every muscle group in your body, but for other types of training as well. And without a proper understanding of physiology and anatomy, you could be walking into the gym thinking that you're going to get big arms just by doing dumbbell curls, not understanding that there's many muscle groups in your arm that make up and help the strength in your arms, not sharpening all the edges of your blade and making a weak, ineffective body. So have a proper understanding of all the muscle groups in your body and how they all work together, and focus on sharpening all aspects of your blade. All right, moving on to the last piece of advice that I have for you guys, that's going to be to find a physical activity that you're passionate about and use it as natural motivation to work out. When I first started training, I was into skateboarding and martial arts, and eventually freestyle calisthenics. And with those physical activities, I was able to naturally produce motivation without having to seek motivation every time I was going to start my workout session. As every time I would see improvements in my strength and workouts, I would see it transfer over into my other physical activities, like having more powerful legs for skateboarding, improved cardio for endurance, and more explosive power for martial arts. This mindset of having another purpose for my workout changed the whole mood for my workouts. Instead of dreading my cardio and workout sessions, I was actually excited and pumped to work out, as every time I would train and get stronger, I would get better at my craft. And that was easy motivation for me to be more consistent and to train harder, while improving me aesthetically and athletically in my sport. Not just training to look strong, training to actually be strong. Improving and strengthening my craft I'm passionate about is all the motivation I need to train harder every day. So find a craft you're passionate about and let that be the reason why you're training. And you're gonna enjoy every second of every routine and have no problem being motivated every workout. And that's gonna be 5 things I think is super beneficial that you can start doing right now that will completely change your fitness game and have you excel a whole lot faster and get a whole lot stronger in a fraction of the time it took me. So if you enjoyed the video, definitely smash that like button. Comment down below, let me know what you want the next video to be about, and share this video with a friend that can use these tips to start taking their training to the next level and start seeing some real results right now. And don't forget to get my personal workouts and workout programs that I've created with specific goals in mind, like building solid muscle while simultaneously getting shredded with minimal to no equipment. Make sure you download my app Heria Pro in the App Store or Google Play Store, and make sure you become a member on heriapro.com to get full access to all my routines. It's like having me as a personal trainer right in your pocket. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed. I post every single Thursday, 2 p.m. USA Eastern Time, and if you comment within the first 30 minutes, you always have a chance to win some free Heria apparel. Speaking of Heria apparel, I'm dropping my brand new collection at the end of November. You just saw one of the windbreakers as well as one of the shorts dropping in the collection, but you've seen other pieces from the collections in other videos on this YouTube channel, like the white track pants, black track pants, and many more. Stay tuned to the end of November and check back at chrisheria.com for the drop drop. I'll be posting all the information on my Instagram, Chris Heria. And make sure you're following me on Instagram because every single post I always do some type of giveaway. If you want a chance to be a part of that, make sure you're following me on IG. So with that said, I'll see you next Thursday, 2 p.m. USA Eastern Time. Mad love. Peace out.
Heria Music.